What up, Manuela?
What's goody in the hoodie, bruh?
AI is synonymous with everything around us, so we kind of don't even know the difference between AI and what's not AI anymore. Our brains start to devolve. We drive to fucking Wynwood damn near every day, and he still uses GPS to get to Wynwood. I'm like, my man, why do you need GPS? Left, right, left, right, left, right. Drive a couple miles.
Yo, leave Paul alone, dog.
My credit got destroyed for more than one reasons. I had fraud on my credit, everything. My credit was in the dirt.
But closing your eyes to the shit and just walking around life like this, that ain't it.
No. Especially not if you're gonna jump into the seat of fatherhood. What up, Manuela?
What's goody in the hoodie, bruh?
We one down. Kate fatherhood life dropped in and he dropped out.
That's it.
You know, it's crazy today. I've been backed up with work stuff, different things. I'm planning crazy hood day in October, a bunch of stuff happening, and today was jam packed. And of course, leave it to the public school system to say, hey, we're just doing a random day off today in the middle of the week. So today was a day off of school for the kids.
You know it's not random, right?
Why? What's today?
Today and tomorrow.
National Not Random Day?
Rosh Hashanah, bro.
Well, tomorrow they go back to school, so Rosh Hashanah is only one day?
Then y'all doing it bootleg. Over here, they get both days off.
Nah, I don't think they're celebrating Rosh Hashanah, bro.
I don't know.
I don't know, but let me ask my friend. So let me tell you. So I've been doing this funny thing with my son. He really trips off of it. I'll talk to him like some crazy, like if I'm a Cuban that just got here from Cuba, like I have my own version of that exaggerated voice, right?
Right.
And he dies when I do it. So then the new what is it? What do they call it? The Chat GPT voice is
Chat GPT voice?
No, the application, like what do they call it specifically? Something the voice. Well, whatever.
I don't even know what app you're specifically talking about.
You don't know about this?
I mean, I have Chat GPT, but I don't have one of the voice.
But
joints.
You haven't seen the viral stuff of the Jamaican patois and all that?
Nah, bro, I don't live on social media like that.
No, but you work in it, but you don't know about it.
I don't. Right. You still think that I work in social media. I have nothing.
That's social media. This is tech. You should be knowing about that. You even tell me, yeah, we've been implementing AI, blah, 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 blah.
Of course, machine learning forever.
But all right. Well, anyways, Bud D, I'll bring you up to speed so you can apply it in your job.
Did you just call me Butt D?
Bud D, not Butt T. You emphasis on the double T. Mine was a D, and not that D.
It's just getting worse.
Neil Smith, an old butt buddy. Are you here, Neil? Neil, I miss you, man.
Anyways, so I was like, oh, let me see what this ChatGPT voice does with a Cuban, like if they'll do the Cuban accent.
Yeah.
And I did it, and my son specifically, he was dying because it reminded him of what I do sometimes. So
right.
So here, let's try it out. Chat, you there?
Claro que sí. Dale.
Oh, she's already.
You already trained her.
So chat. I'm talking with my friend Manny, and I'm telling him about how you talk like one of us, like a crazy Cuban from Miami. Get Cuban from Miami.
You're talking with your friend, just like a Cuban from Miami. Tú sabes, everything is a little loca around here, but that's what makes it special.
No, but I want more Cuban.
I need some cafecito. I need a little.
Put more Spanish into it.
Dale, mano. Oye, Manny, aquí te estoy hablando como un cubano de Miami, ¿me entiendes? En la pequeña Habana con el cafecito y el dominó en el parque. Tremenda gozadera, Cere. Y no puede faltar la música de Celia Cruz. Azúcar.
Hey, did you just get out of TGK?
Ay, chico, no, no. Yo a ti tranquilo. Nada de TJK. Solo estoy disfrutando del ambiente de Miami y hablando con mi gente. ¿Tú sabes cómo es?
Oye, ¿vas a llegar a Kendo ahí a la 152 to hang out and play some ball?
Tremendo. Dale, ve para la 152 y juega un poco de básquet. Que te vaya bien en la cancha y cuida esos tobillos, hermano. Nos vemos.
Dale.
Yo, that's great. You got to send me the app, bro. I need to figure this
It's
out.
Chat GPT.
Oh, so then I can do it. I didn't know it was doing that yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Which-
I had a hard time finding exactly where, but it's that little icon next to the
okay.
microphone.
Got it. Oh, that's dope.
And
That's
it's funny
fun.
because then I started saying, "Can you do?" Because I've seen people do Indian accents, patois, Jamaican accents. So I was like, "Yo, can you do a Chinese accent?" And then the chat goes, "Listen, you know, we got to be respectful. We can't, you know, you don't like, you know, don't be just doing all these different accents and like it was trying to be all PC. It's like, yo, relax. I don't got no beef with anybody. I just want to hear all the different accents."
Hold on. I want to try one. Hold on. Good. Hey, chat. Talk to me like I was a 3-year-old child and you are my Dominican mother speaking in Spanish, telling me off. Maybe I just don't know how to use this thing.
Or maybe you have it plugged in so it's not talking.
Look, it's giving me that right there.
Yeah, you have to wait till it turns blue on you.
Ah, boo.
But I think sometimes when you plug the phone, it like mutes your mic or something.
No. I'm just charging it. It's not.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes I've noticed that you have what version of chat do you have?
There you go. I got it. Hey, chat, are you there?
I'm here. What can I do for you today?
All right. I need you to transform into a Dominican mother who's scolding her child, 3-year-old child, and you're speaking in Spanish the whole time.
Hey, muchachito, ¿qué tú haces? Ven acá ahora mismo. ¿Cuántas veces tengo que decirte que no toques eso? Mira, si te caes, vas a ver. Ay, Dios mío, este niño me va a volver loca. Ven acá.
Nope.
No,
Not even close.
First of all, you got to get no, and the Cuban one wasn't perfect either.
Encarnación.
Spitting back at them and talking to them like, you know, like kind of like in like sci-fi movies where you walk into your house and you're talking to your house and your house is your friend.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be, and he's saying like stuff that was taking mathematicians or scientists or chemists years of work will be happening like in very short time, will happen within an hour. And then he says, and at that point we're going to be saying, well, it needs to be in minutes and then eventually in seconds. And so he's just saying like, yeah, like all this stuff is advancing pretty fast. And
yo,
I
instant gratification times a million, bro.
And the fact that you can, because look, this is fairly new, so you know it's gonna get real good.
Oh, we're gonna have our own personal Jarvises from what's the name, from Iron Man.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's wild, man. People are definitely gonna be having relationships with these voices.
What was the name of that movie, bro? The
Machina something. Wasn't it Machina?
I'm thinking of something before that, I think. Yeah, like the guy's in love with the robot.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
And already in like Asian countries, they've been marrying their computers. Yeah.
No.
What?
Yo, bro, you are way too deep. Look, don't be surprised. I don't watch the news and I'm not on social media like that.
That's why you're so stubbornly optimistic.
Yes, 100% right.
And I don't know how you do it, bro. Like I get it, but the flip side of that is if shit goes left, you're gonna be like, but why?
Yes. I might follow the herd at that point, but until then, like, it's cool. My headspace
Yeah.
is really good.
Like I know I get not always. I've seen you lose your screw sometime,
Oh yeah, I've had moments.
but yeah,
Definitely have
nah.
moments.
I need to always be in the know of stuff. But the crazy part of being in the know now is the rabbit hole of knowing that in the know might be in the not in the know anymore because everything is doctored, everything is fake, everything is this, so it's hard to know what's real anymore.
Yeah. No, that's terrible.
Like for example, I'll give you an example that I think is going to be crazy moving forward. Court cases. Like when people say, "Oh, we got video of you or we got a taped recording of you talking," how can they be so sure now that that's not AI generated anymore? Like eventually, maybe right now they can tell
Yeah.
still, but it's going to get to the point where it's going to be like you won't know the difference, man.
Yeah, almost impossible to authenticate.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I have faith we'll figure it out. But like, yo, I mean, all right, this can go crazy, right? Like there, you could see it. Like it can go absolutely off the wall, make life like unrecognizable. But the efficiencies that come from these tools and these technologies, bro, is we haven't even tapped the surface yet.
Right, but what good is efficiency if it ends humanity?
Wow, that's what I'm saying. That's what the whole going left part of it is.
Like if we evolve into back into being apes because our brains aren't being used anymore because AI is the thing, and eventually AI gets to a point where what do they call it the singularity,
Mhm.
which I'm not 100% sure what that means, but for me, what that means is to the point where AI fixes AI,
Yeah.
AI produces AI. AI is synonymous with everything around us, so we kind of don't even know the difference between AI and what's not AI anymore.
Are you talking about like it going sentient?
No, not sentient. They call it the singularity,
The singularity.
which I think I might be wrong, but I feel like in what I just said, there's something right about what the singularity is, which is something to do where it gets to the point where it's self-replicating, where now humans are kind of like,
The slave to that.
I mean, we don't have, let's just not go down that road, but let's just go to the other road that our brains start to devolve
Got it.
because we're not using our brain anymore because we have AI. Let's just use the
Yeah.
example of we don't retain the memory of phone numbers
Phone
anymore
numbers.
because of our phone. We don't retain the memory of maps and where to go. Like a lot of people's sense of direction is gone now because they rely so much on GPS.
Mhm.
My boy Paul, we drive to fucking Wynwood goddamn damn near every day, and he still uses GPS to get to Wynwood. I'm like, my man, why do you need GPS for left, right, left, right, left, right, drive a couple miles?
Yo, leave Paul alone, dog.
There's a lake there.
I think it knows where it is going.
This is the
The
lake.
machine
This
knows.
is the lake.
Stop yelling at me.
No, it's
Stop
not yelling.
yelling.
There's no road here.
I put my GPS on even though I know where I'm going, simply because of I use
Waze, like Waze.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. For the
That's the
cops and
excuse,
stuff.
bro. That's the excuse.
Nah, that's why I do it.
I don't know. What does it do? What does it tell you? Oh, watch out for the cop right there.
And yo, 85% of the time is right.
Now let me ask you this: how the fuck does it know there's a cop there?
It's the people that are using Waze are sounding the alarm basically. Like I'm a contributor. I'm in there like, yo, I got
Really?
Yeah.
But see, isn't that weird? Because oftentimes a cop will pull up a minute before and the shit's telling you, or like and boom, it's right there.
Sometimes that's off because they're moving, every so often. So you're not gonna be 100% accurate, but most of the time, like there's enough people contributing on a daily basis all over the place that it works.
But isn't that dangerous as well? You're telling people don't text and drive, and this is just saying, please text and drive.
So I was never a contributor until I got my more recent vehicle, because in it's like 2 buttons that I got to push on my big ass screen. Right. So it doesn't take away from sure. You can argue it takes away from my focus, but it's really easy. It's not like I'm fumbling through my phone or any of that nonsense. So yeah, the people that don't have that capability shouldn't be doing it, but it's tons of people that do. Yo, so Yeah, my daughter's hilarious, bro. My 8-year-old, she's my least athletic child, at least so far. That's what we've seen. And we got her into basketball finally. We're like, yo, just try it for a season and let's see how it goes. Because the rest of the family is into basketball. So we're like, yo, come on, you gotta at least try. And so my
What? That's a lot of pressure, I think, on a kid. The whole family's into basketball. You gotta try it.
we played that game with her. We tried to like guilt her into it. She's way too slick. She's like, in her own way, like, I don't give a fuck what you guys are talking about right now. But finally, one of her close friends, started to do it, and then a couple other friends started to do it. So now she's like more motivated to give it a shot. And so her older sister, my oldest daughter, she is kind of walking her through some basics yesterday, and just like here's how you should think about dribbling the ball. And she's being super sarcastic in her responses as my oldest is teaching her on some like, all right, yeah, yeah, oh yeah, no, yeah, yeah, of course, yeah, I know, no, yeah, you're right, yeah, yeah, just to have her shut up is basically why she kept doing. And then when she's like, all right, let me see how you do it, and she just do some un disparate, like a mess, and not, not have it be the way it was taught. And then she'd be like, all right, good, good, okay, good. And then she'll turn to her mom and be like, oh my God, this girl's so annoying. So it's gonna be a fun ride. Oh man, I think she's trying to find me right now. You need me? Like emergency? Can you wait? All right. I'm recording. It was her. I just happened to be talking about her and she pops up. But yo, she's a riot, dog. Like she's one of those kids that you can't say much to her because she always has a snippy comeback, and and in a lot of cases it's funny, but
How old is she now? 7?
She's 8. She's 8.
8. So she's the youngest though.
Yeah. So far that I know of.
Damn, dog.
Nah.
How would you not know?
As of right now, she's the youngest. One day maybe we'll have another one. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. I forgot who I'm talking to.
Yeah, exactly.
You got one in the chamber, locked and loaded, ready to rock and roll.
I think so.
You out of control, man. See, see your optimism. Like you're like, yeah, sure. What's one more in the economical food chain of life that I have right now? Who cares? Keep them coming. Put them all through college. Feed them all. Give them all cars.
Yo,
houses for everybody. You get a house. You get a house. You get a house. You're out of control.
No.
You're out of control.
See, all right, let me ask you a question. Every parent's intention, I would assume, for the most part, is to pay for their kids' college if they can. Right?
Absolutely.
Fine. If you are unable to,
mm-hmm.
Do you feel a way? Like, are you feeling guilty if you can't?
Yeah.
You are.
If I can at least seriously help them,
yeah,
through to financially, support them for college, I would feel guilty because I feel like I learned already through my life, and I just think that we know how important education is, and my thing with it too is I'm not forcing them. I'm not going to force them to go to college.
Sure.
Right. I want them to do obviously something with their life, but I want to make sure that I have the means to put them through college if they want to go, and if they don't, that money is available to them in what other endeavor they might want to do. But yes, okay. I would feel guilty if I didn't have that plan for them.
Got it. I mean, that's fair. But if, God forbid, things didn't work out the way you anticipate, and
if life happens,
unable,
that's
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Your intention is, I don't know anybody whose intention is not right to do that. But to feel guilty if you just can't, I think for me is like, it's a little bit much. Just given, granted, like this is the only country where school is like a business, like a real legit
That's
business.
why I'm saying I'm not mad if they don't go.
Right. But if they choose, if they want to go and they have to go take out loans as an example, right? And then have to pay them things. Like, it's not the end of the world.
My thing is not to be guilty if I can't. It's more that I think I'm imposing my my ideas on everybody.
Yeah.
I think you should feel guilty if you didn't try to set something up.
I don't blame you for thinking that. I
You
think
know what
so.
I'm
I
saying?
think
If you
that's
bring
kind
a
of your
child into this,
responsibility.
if you bring a child into this world, okay, maybe you don't have the best paying job, but now you brought a child into this world, you better put some nuggets away, some piece of the pie, start, make a plan and have something. So maybe you can't pay for their full college, but maybe you're helping them with something, something.
You could offset it for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, because I speak to a lot of, I've been speaking to a lot of parents from different walks of life as my daughter's college experience is approaching. And you've got people who are, doing the menial jobs at places. You got people doing high executive jobs. You got people in the middle. In some way, shape, or form, those that have kids that wanted to go to college have figured out a way to make that happen. Combination of loans or paying out of their savings accounts or whatever, right? Something. And it's just a testament to me on just this core belief I have, which is like, yo, if it's something that you truly want, things get figured out. That doesn't mean sit on your ass and don't do anything. That's not what I'm referring to. But that's why my optimism is always really high. It doesn't always work out, but I feel like the more you're able, at least I've seen it in my life, the more I'm able to focus on things in a positive way and like really believe that they're possible, the more that they come true. And in that same instance, like that, and I'm not saying that that's what these people are doing, but I'm noticing a pattern with these folks. And it's like, yo, like they a lot of them hold education at a really high regard. They really want that. They see it as an opportunity for their kids to excel in life. And so that's a deep want from these folks, but they don't always have like the available means. So one thing or another happens and boom, it doesn't get paid off all the way necessarily.
Right.
But they figure it out. They help them where they can, do all that stuff.
I'll give you ironically, a Drink Champs fatherhood nugget.
Yeah.
So we had Ryan Leslie. I mean, this is specific to what we're talking about. We had Ryan Leslie on recently.
Yeah, I remember. I was there.
And he was talking about how, he went to Harvard at like 15.
Mm-hmm.
And, he comes from, his family, very humble means. They worked for the Salvation Army. So they didn't make much of anything. If anything, they were like volunteering a lot. And so they definitely couldn't necessarily pay for college. So obviously if he's going at 15, he got scholarships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he said that he really, really was into music. He wanted to do music, but it wasn't in line with what he was studying at Harvard. And so, his parents weren't necessarily feeling that like that. But and I'm paraphrasing and I'm not, maybe I'm not 100% accurate of how he explained it, but the point is that he told his dad, he's like, look, man, I'm really into music. This is what I really want to do. He kind of finished, I guess, whatever first part of Harvard that he had to do. He could obviously keep going to school, but he had finished something. And he's like, I want to pursue music, but, he didn't have equipment and stuff like that. And so his dad was like, okay, and he didn't have the money for equipment. So his dad was like, okay, what is it that you need? What do you want? This is what you want to do? Okay. So this is the deal. I'm going to help you get it, this equipment and this stuff. And if this doesn't work by a certain amount of time, then you're going to go back, I think, to law school or something, or med school, something like that.
Yeah.
And finish that. That's going to be your career. So his dad maxed out a credit card. And he told him, and you got to pay this back with interest.
Yep.
Or you got to pay it back, obviously with interest of the credit card is going to have interest by a certain amount of time. And if you don't.
So you don't get hit over the head. Type
Right. So he's also telling him, you got to pay for that. So whatever you're doing, whatever we're going to buy with this, the music is got to work.
Produce.
So you could pay for this too.
Went to Harvard, and most people go to Harvard and they get away from the music industry. You went to Harvard and you went towards the music industry. Did you feel like you was moving backwards at one point?
I mean, everyone that I initially told my plan to thought I was moving backwards.
Right.
They said, well, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And I think maybe the biggest the biggest challenge to overcome initially was my own family, right? Because when I was on the road to Harvard, as you said, parents were like, okay, how are we going to afford this? You know? So my dad said, hey, look, you know, I'm in the Rotary Club. They have these speech competitions. So you're going to write a great speech and you'll go and speak to all the Rotary Club members and they'll put up a couple of dollars to put in the kit so you can, you know, have some money to move around. And so I wrote a speech about how I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. So that was very inspirational. You know, my dad was so proud of it. I was pre-med my first year at Harvard. And I realized, you know, the kids that were in my chemistry class, my biology class, et cetera, they had a passion for science, a passion for medicine, a passion for what they were studying, the problem sets. And I found that my passion was just music.
Right. You didn't.
And I said, look, you know, if this is what's keeping them up at night, I need to do what keeps me up at night. And I went and maxed out my credit card. I think everybody does that when they go to college. You get a credit card, and I went
to college in jail, so maybe not me. Okay, but continue.
I maxed it out, out of college, but I did. But my main point is, and everything we're talking about is that, and I've had these conversations with a lot of friends. I don't want to say a lot because it's not a lot, but enough amount of fathers that are my friends that have found themselves in difficult financial situations. And we've all had bad credit. We've all had financial difficulties. But one thing that I think we all know better now, look, you know, in retrospect, that you can fix credit, you can manipulate credit, you can open up LLCs, get credit off that. So I would tell my friends, I'm like, with bad credit, they had like terrible credit, and they're struggling to do things with their families or whatever. And I'm like, look, man, I suggest that you really just clamp down and get your credit fixed, fix your credit, do everything, because the last thing I think a father that's responsible for children or a family, that you should be having bad credit, bro, because at the very least, if an emergency were to happen that you cannot foresee, you can lean on credit for that emergency. You know, I'm not saying that you want to go on credit for your day-to-day, and you don't have the same amount of income coming in to pay that credit off, but you need to have good credit so you can have cards or access to credit lines or loans or whatever, so that you can, that rainy day comes, you got it. You're not like, you don't got nothing, because what good are you? Like, that's what you are. You're the provider. You're the protector. And if you can't have that, man, accessible for your family, I think you're doing a disservice to your family. And it's just sad, man. It's sad.
I agree with that. I think that's super important. And people lose sight of how significant that is, because it's not in your face all the time, right? Like these people, not these people like putting them down or anything, but like people in general, like that credit score, or the various credit scores, because there's 3 credit agencies,
right,
don't mean much to a lot of these folks, unless you're buying a house or making a big purchase where you need kind of a bank's assistance. It doesn't really play into your normal day-to-day. So I can understand out of sight, out of mind, but it's a responsibility, like you're saying, for not just fathers, I'd say guardians, parents, you know, people who have children, to really, once you have those kids, like, make sure some of these basic things are actually taken care of. And if not, figure out how to make them better than what they are. Because you don't need an 850 score.
No. And there's nothing wrong. Look, I truly feel that, especially if you're an aspiring entrepreneur of any kind, and you're young, in your 20s and in your early 30s or whatever, if pre-kids for sure, yo, man, go out there, man, ruin your credit. That's what, you got to go out there and live life and figure it out and learn. Like my credit, like I don't want anybody to think, oh, you saying it's easy for you to save, maybe you got Drink Champs going on, you good right now.
Right.
Nah, man, my credit got destroyed for more than one reasons. I had fraud on my credit, everything. My credit was in the dirt. Pre-Drink Champs, pre anything, when I was at my lowest financially, when the housing crash happened, which I've talked about several times.
Yep.
And I had to pull myself by the bootstraps and just slowly climb out of that ditch. And the first priority was fixing my credit. And once I fixed my credit, then I was able to start to get credit. And then I started to learn about leveraging LLCs for credit that doesn't affect your personal credit score, and using credit and credit lines to do business things, but then paying things off and being responsible, because I already learned my lesson of what that was, not paying these things off and making that a priority. And then once I knew I was having kids, then it was a matter of making sure that I'm kind of as debt free as possible and have the best credit as possible. Now, I know that's not possible for everybody out there, but what is possible and not impossible is you can fix your credit. There's no excuses. People who think, oh, I'm too far gone, or I can't fix my credit.
Never.
Bullshit. You
Never.
can fix your credit. You can create LLCs. You can get credit lines. You could do a lot of things. You just got to be responsible. You can't do dumb shit. You can't get credit to buy dumb shit and do dumb shit. Have a plan and start to, feel better about, like, you feel more confident when you know, all right, I got it in case there's an emergency. I got, I'm going to take care of my family. I got, credits I can fall back on. I got plans in case shit goes left. So,
yeah, I have moments where, like, I feel like I think people would say that I'm a responsible person, right? And when it comes to finances and whatnot, like, it took me a little bit of time to get there, but I always have my eye on, I need to do the retirement thing and make sure I'm contributing to that, and have pockets of money as best I could to, like, keep things afloat, or a certain lifestyle. I have moments of panic, maybe once, twice a year when it comes to
every day.
When it comes to
Every
finances.
day, B.
I'm in these streets panicking every day, B.
Every day.
And it tends to happen with the market, because I have some investments in the market tied to my 401k and my financial planner.
We got our mutual buddy.
Yeah, our buddy. He always has a way to calm me down. And it's all numbers and fact based, right? Like, my mind goes off into these things, like this, that, and the third. And that's not typical of me. I don't really go down those spirals. But when I'm feeling a pinch or a crunch, I'm like, yo, hold on, man. I gotta talk to him. I gotta figure out, like, is it really as bad as I'm thinking? And he's like, the last one that I had, he was like, yo, look, there's no reason for you to panic. Like, we're doing well. And if you gotta tap something, we can tap stuff. There's stuff to tap. You just, we know, like, I'm not living off that right now, but if an emergency comes, I could take care of business, and it doesn't have to interrupt the type of life that we're trying to live. So, but that's 20 years in the making, 15 years in the making. Like, it's not like, oh, it's yesterday I just started.
That's how long you've been with Jose?
Easily, what was that?
Like, paying into shit?
I've known him since I was in college, but I've been working with him 2007, so almost 20. So, it's been a while, but that, it's not for not everybody doesn't have the same concept of how things should go, but absolutely, at a minimum, educate yourself on how to potentially find a path out of whatever, financial situation you might be in, particularly around credit.
We got to make sure we say we are not financial advisors.
Not even close, bro.
We are just some fathers that live in the hood. Now I'm playing. We are some hoods that are fathers. That's the right way of saying it.
Yeah, we are not experts. Do not take our advice. We're just humble idiots of the internet trying to entertain.
Did you know millions of Americans live with debt they cannot control? That's why I developed this unique new program for managing your debt. It's called Don't Buy Stuff You Cannot Afford.
I live in what's the baseball player homie's name when he called Kendall the Hood?
Who? Jose Canseco?
No, J-Lo's ex, and everybody had like a fucking
A-Rod
conniption fit over it.
A-Rod, yeah.
But I just want to bring back full circle to that Ryan Leslie story. Yeah. Now, anybody that's a Ryan Leslie fan or thinks that his music is amazing, imagine if his dad didn't have the credit to open up to get that credit card to make that leap of faith for his son.
Yo, and that's not an easy decision to make, especially knowing his parents were not. They were servants. They were servants of the community.
Yep.
you know? So I don't know what their financial situation was, but I can't imagine it was one where you could
No,
just be like
he
frivolously tapping credit cards.
yeah, he didn't tell us the exact situation, but he's like, they work for the Salvation Army. Like,
Right.
I think
Yeah.
you can make an educated guess that it's not that much money.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. And
So
he has actually, I mean, it's in line with what we're talking about. Like he on that episode of Drinks, and by the way, we'll reference it in the show notes so that you guys can check it out. I think it's super valuable to hear it. But he also he has some, I want to call it a product, maybe it's a service that's out there around wealth development, right?
yeah, he has a couple things. I think it's called Wealth Plan.
Oh yeah, I think that you're right.
Yeah, I mean, he got some criticism for some numbers that he seemed to have like flopped up when he was talking to us, and I didn't even. I was actually thinking that the numbers might have been off, but I just took him for his word because he was talking about like basically putting your money into like a market account that's going to yield a return and kind of living off of that kind of money, like planning around living off of that kind of money when you're not generating income any other way. And he was saying something like, "Oh, if you put 40,000
Oh yeah,
now you get 4,000 a month back." And everybody, like, we posted a clip. People were destroying him, destroying us, and these guys didn't even question it. I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what." In my mind, I was like, "Damn, what kind of a account is that?"
yeah.
Dude?
What do we do? What kind of
Jose steering me wrong, bro? But he obviously fudged up those numbers, and to his credit, I will say which threw me off a little bit too. He also mentioned that he's not necessarily a numbers guy, but hey, and if you got a well planned, management, whatever, consulting, you kind of need to be a numbers guy. But maybe what he is that he understands all this stuff, but he's not the number cruncher in his crew or in his company or whatever. Maybe there's the people that are the number crunchers, but he kind of understands more or less the landscape and the goals of his company to help the community. I'll take him for that,
Yeah, and I mean, at the end, like where I was going with it was like his platform might be an opportunity for some level of education, right? Like I haven't used Wealth Plan. I don't really know how it impacts you, but it may be a stepping stone for some folks to start to open their eyes to a path that makes more sense for them. It may not necessarily be Wealth Plan.
Yeah, like
But
Earn Your Leisure has stuff that it's opening it up to marginalized communities that aren't usually being taught wealth management or generational wealth or how to get out of debt, and
yeah,
that's really what it's about.
And back to, I mean, I've mentioned this, I think, like the last few episodes. My senior in high school, her personal finance class, these things that we're talking about, credit and trying to and connecting the dots of what that means, right? Like it's not just some random number that lives in a piece of software. Like how
I just had a
brain fart.
Yeah,
because this is not a fart, as far as I know, not in the hood.
No, this is an idea.
Oh, a light bulb joint.
Yeah,
a light bulb.
Ding ding. Ding dong.
Wait, hold on, but let me finish my thought.
Yeah,
So,
my wife harping on me about it.
Yeah, no, she should. Yeah, get him. So at her age, I was already making money at her age. At 17, I was already making some money. Nothing crazy, a couple $100 a week here and there. But I didn't understand credit. I just assumed if I'm in the black, so as far as profitability goes, right? I bring in this much, I only spend this much, and I have this much left. To me, that was great credit. Like I didn't understand the outside impacts of money, right? And for her, hers is like in 3D. Like she's in the matrix with all the information that she's learning, which I'm very confident because of her reaction and how she's so engaged in understanding all this stuff. It's setting her foundation up way better than what mine was. And as the complexity of all this stuff unravels for her, she's going to be a lot more focused on being able to make better decisions than a lot of us had the opportunity to. So I mean, I hope this is being taught elsewhere too, like not just at her school.
I haven't really heard much of it. I heard that I think the state of California was trying to implement that into high schools. I think.
I hope, man. It's necessary, dog. So
But
wait,
but
what
I
was your bright idea?
no. I mean, I want to talk about it off camera.
Okay.
But because I hate bringing up things that we never do them.
Oh.
But I hope that also not only are they teaching this stuff, but they're teaching it in a way that's palatable to younger people and to people who aren't used to hearing this. There might be communities of people out there, of kids that are from families that they live and breathe this kind of stuff. You know, their families are well off and they're always talking to their family, or they're always accompanying their parents to freaking the lawyers and accountants, meetings. Like, they might be more schooled and more versed in this stuff, where there might be the latchkey kid that the single parent works all day and the kid's just at home playing video games or playing sports and doesn't really, this stuff is all alien to them. So it needs to be taught in different ways for different communities and different kids, and just for kids in general, just something that's palatable that they can kind of retain.
Yeah, and not feel like it's like they're inferior because of the way it's being taught. Or
as an adult, I'm learning this stuff as well, and it still sounds crazy to me sometimes.
You gotta, like, it's for example, like I was just talking about this with my business partner the other day. Like, you hear the same thing spoken in different ways, eventually it'll click to you and whatever resonates more with you, right? So like being taught like reading, the topic could be whatever, right? Let's just say it's how to do your taxes. You'll have the scholarly way that's written, and you'll have like the fatherhood's version.
Oh snap, April 15th is breathing down my neck like a hyperventilating tax monkey on my back.
Of how that's written, and all things in between. Whatever aligns with how you think and how you ingest information is going to be the best one for you. And that's why having a variety of options is always good, and just testing out to see what resonates. But closing your eyes to the shit and just walking around life like this, that ain't it.
No, especially not if you're gonna jump into the seat of fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. Like, that's my thing. Like, nah, bro. Don't be a parent. Don't bring kids into this world, and don't have that responsibility and not try. It's all about trying. You got to have the best intentions. Like, try. Hey, you might fail, but you tried. Like, I think that's what parenting is kind of all about. You're trying to do your best. And I think in the long run, the kids will look back at their parents and at their fathers and be like, yo, he was trying. He was doing his thing, like, for whatever it's worth, because eventually they become parents and they realize, oh man, that was tough. So my pops was really, really trying.
Yeah.
He was doing his best.
My daughter had a moment of clarity last week. She went she and her friend went to Top Golf. And
you got one over there too? Yeah, that's
yeah,
franchise like a motherfucker.
Yeah, they're all over the map. So it's just two of them, right? Top Golf, you should go with like a gang of people because you get the bay and you do a bunch of stuff with a bunch of people. But it was just two of them, and it's not a cheap place. Like, it's a trendy spot. Everything's a little pricier. So her and her friend are there, whatever. They order some food. They pay for the bay. Yo, when the bill came though, yo, I didn't see her because they just went together, right? But I could feel the hyperventilation because I got an alert.
Who paid?
So they both paid, but here's what happened. Her friend, she didn't have enough money. Like, she tapped out at a certain number. Okay. And my daughter got left holding the rest of it. And even though, the girl settled her debt with her later or whatever, but even though they split, like, it was a grip. And she's like telling us the story, and I'm like, yeah, that's just a Monday around here. Like, what do you think? Anytime we set foot outside, think of that as what our bill is.
Yeah.
And she's like, yo. And to some degree, I'm doing it like, yo, be grateful, right? Like, you don't got to think about these things most of the time. But on the flip side, if you want to have this kind of life, you got to set those foundational steps now and understand what that's going to look like. Because the price is only going up at Top Golf. It ain't coming down.
Nothing's going down.
Right. So it's fun, bro. Like for all the chaos that parenthood can bring, like I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
No, absolutely nothing, man. I was thinking today to myself, and I was driving, and I'm working on my Crazy Hood Day event, and I was just saying to myself, like, to be honest with you, right now in life, fun to me is hanging out with the family and with the kids. Like I could, don't get me wrong. Like, of course, you miss having a couple brews or drinks at the bar with the guys or whatever. Yeah, that's cool and all, but I would rather hang out with other parents. They say that's what happens. Have tap out at 2 beers but everybody's safe, the kids are happy, everybody's eating, everybody's good. Like, take them to somewhere that they can enjoy themselves and see them happy and fun and having fun. And that to me is exciting. And that to me is fun for me now.
It's dope. Like it's a different stage of life. Like even like I live in the burbs, and I'm 45 minutes away from New York City. Younger folks, I see them looking at me crazy. Like, you live where? Why? Why are you doing that to yourself? But I get it. You're at a whole different life stage. Like for me, looking at my grass grow and having some backyard and smoking a cigar every so often, or just like watching my kids play in the backyard, like all that to me is peace.
Yeah,
I love that. And to your point, like hanging out with other parents where the kids are clicking and they're enjoying themselves, and as a bonus, those parents get to enjoy yourselves. Like that's bliss.
Yeah, and I mean, let's be honest. You're enjoying yourselves till the minute and the kids, wild out and you got to scold a kid or something. But when you look back at it, just the idea of just being there, being present, keeping your family safe, to me, and if you can even get a couple laughs out of that while you're hanging out, hey man, you won.
Definitely. All right, I think that's a good note right there.
Yeah, man.
All the day. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tell your friend, especially if they're a new father and they're looking crazy out here in these streets, like send them our way. Hopefully we can at least make them laugh. If not, feel pity on us in our endeavors. But we'll catch you guys next week.
Or ask crazy Cuban Chat GPT.
Peace.
Dale.